Okay.
Good morning, class. My name is Amanda, and I will be speaking about tax cuts for the rich.
Amanda, I'm going to let you start over again also. You need to start with an attention device. Andrew should have started with the slide talking about those pictures instead of starting with the topic. So let's start over again, and I'd like you to start with your attention device, not with your topic. Okay.
Good morning, class. My name is Amanda. After we were plunged into an economic recession in 2008, the leaders of our country called for shared sacrifice. The weeks, months, and even years ahead would be difficult for everyone across the nation. The government would cut spending in education, defense, healthcare, and even Social Security. But as a nation, we would weather the storm together, and our nation would be prosperous and thriving once more. However, the hard times don't seem to be relenting as millions of working-class Americans continue to lose their jobs and homes. But what if I told you that some Americans weren't suffering at all? They are getting millions of dollars in aid each year. The government is helping them, and they don't even need the help. Furthermore, what if I told you that these Americans weren't like you and me? In reality, they don't need the government's help. They are the millionaires and billionaires of our country, yet our nation's government helps them by showering them with tax cuts. While my parents and your parents are struggling to make ends meet and are paying their fair share in taxes, the affluent in this country are getting help by the way of tax breaks. After doing some research on Bush tax cuts, I have learned that these tax cuts are harmful and should end. Throughout my speech, I hope to show you that the rich are getting tax breaks. These tax breaks are the reason for high unemployment and our nation's debt, and also to showcase that many of the affluent who receive tax breaks wouldn't mind paying their fair share. First, let's talk about tax rates of the rich versus tax rates of the poor. The rich pay very low taxes. According to a New York Times article, IRS data shows in 2010, the highest paid 400 Americans made $90 billion combined, yet paid a tax rate of only 20%. According to a Huffington Post article, America's top earners will get an average tax cut of around $67,000 in 2012, while the bottom 20% will get an average cut of $100. The working class, by comparison, have very high taxes. According to a New York Times article, tax rate of working class people, those who make $60,000 a year or less, paid an average rate of 36% in 2010. Compare this to the number I just mentioned, the mere 20% the rich pay. According to a report by the Congressional Research Service, families making less than $100,000 a year paid a tax rate of about 27% in 2007. Now that we have talked about the reality that is the rich are getting tax breaks from the government, let's talk about how tax breaks for the rich are harmful to society. Tax breaks for the rich are causing a ruckus among society. Tax breaks for the rich are one of the reasons for high unemployment. Taxing the rich does create jobs. According to a Huffington Post article, over 40 million jobs were added between 1980 and 2000 because of higher tax rates on the rich. Since then, the tax rate for the rich has decreased, and so has the amount of jobs. According to a Daily News article, this is because the government spends less on infrastructure, and so there are no jobs to hire people for. Tax rates for the rich are also causing our nation's debt to rise. According to a study done by the National Priorities Project, tax cuts for the rich cost the government $11.6 million every hour. As you can see on the slide behind me, the slide shows that Bush tax cuts for the rich cost our government trillions of dollars a year and will continue to cost us well into the year 2019. Now that we have talked about how tax breaks cause high unemployment rates and add to the national debt, let's talk about who supports taxing the rich. Most people, the working class and rich alike, support having their taxes raised. Various millionaires do not mind having their taxes raised. According to a study done by Spectrum's Millionaire Corner, out of a survey of Americans holding at least $1 million in investments, more than two-thirds of respondents say their taxes should be raised. Warren Buffett has proposed raising taxes on million-plus earners, saying that the ultra-rich pay lower rates than everyday workers. A CBS poll shows that 56% of the general population say that taxes should be raised on households earning $250,000 or more annually. Concisely put, many say that it isn't fair for millionaires and billionaires to be punished just because they are more successful than the average working-class American. However, the public isn't asking for them to be penalized. As the working class continues to struggle to make ends meet, We need to come to the realization that the rich must pay their fair share to the country that has rendered them so successful. I will leave you all with a quote. As Warren Buffett once said, while the poor and middle class fight for us in Afghanistan, and while most Americans struggle to make ends meet, the mega-rich continue to get extraordinary tax breaks. It's time for our government to get serious about shared sacrifice. Thank you for listening.